Hi, this is Joe again with another review, and the subject for, as you can tell from my cheesy shirt here, what I'm reviewing, not a movie, but a television show, Baywatch, which of course this year in 2014 is celebrating, I can't believe it, 25th anniversary, because it's a story of a weekly series on NBC way back in 1989. It was promptly canceled after 1 year because of low ratings, and then 2 years later, in 1991, over a year after it got canceled, it got picked up in syndication, and then it ran on for I think like another 9 or 10 years after that in syndication, and then got spun off twice. Once in 1985, Baywatch Nights, and another show called Baywatch Hawaii, which lasted I think 2 years. But for the main show, I thought it was even though that it does get made fun of, today in 2014 gets made fun of more than getting the praise for being the show that it was. Because I thought when the show started, I was a fan of it from the beginning. Because I thought it was a good concept, talking about LA County lifeguards. Now, of course, something like that will get kind of dull after a while, because seeing them rescuing people out of the water with the worst swimmers you could possibly imagine, them constantly running through the water in slow motion and rescuing people. They're doing CPR, constantly doing CPR on them, or if they get to the point where they have to be taken to the hospital or something like that. So that kind of concept could get pretty dull pretty quick. So what they did was they focused on the lives of the lifeguards, or the constant relationship. The problem is that all they have of relationships is with each other in the the lifeguard headquarters. But like I said, so that's why it got canceled after the first year. But the original cast you had, of course, David Hasselhoff was there from the beginning. This was his first series that he did since Nightmare was canceled, I think about like 3 or 4 years earlier. So for 3 or 4 years he had a tough time getting a job, because everybody identified him as Michael Knight for the Nightmare series. And he got this show, he got picked up in this show, and he was there pretty much for the entire run of the series until they spun off to Baywatch Hawaii. And of course, the original cast also had Erica Leniak, who was the first blonde bombshell of Baywatch. Later on, after during the third season premiere, the second year in syndication, she got replaced by Pam Anderson. Of course, she was like the symbol of Baywatch. We're going to get to why in the middle, why Erica Leniak left. And of course, also first they had Parker Stevenson, who was then husband of Christy Alley. But then, except for, like I said, it was canceled after a year. And they did have one cast member killed off during the first season. Shawn Weatherly, I believe her name is, her character was killed off. And I think most of the episodes you can't see on YouTube, which is a good thing. But the problem is that a lot of it, the title sequence is I think in German, I think. So, but and except for the the title sequence, everything else you can understand in English. It's not dubbed, except for the title of the episodes. Then you had, like I said, after the year was canceled, in 1991 was picked up in syndication, and the three main actors came back. David Hasselhoff, Billy Warlock, who played Eddie, and of course Erica Leniak. There were only 3. I think maybe there was another actor I think 2 other actors from the original season came back for this one. One played Lieutenant Ben Edwards, the guy's actor's name, but that character came back, plus another character also came back who played the captain. Those two guys came back, but the rest of the cast didn't. Because of course they went on to do other shows. But then that's when Baywatch really got picked up, was in syndication, and eventually by 1984 became the most watched television show in the world. Especially when Pam Anderson came on the scene. The reason why she came on the scene was she replaced Erica Liniak, who even though she came back to do the first year in syndication, which was technically season 2. She came back for season 2, but then she was doing other projects already, so she didn't want to do the show anymore. It says that she wasn't interested in keep doing the show. It says that she got hired on other projects, so she left. And so they hired Pam Anderson, who was already doing a little television show on ABC called Home Improvement. And she was the original two-time girl. And then, of course, when she got hired in Baywatch, she couldn't do both shows. She tried to do both shows at the same time, but then she decided to leave Home Improvement and keep doing Baywatch, because she had a bigger role in Baywatch. So she did that and left Home Improvement, which was a shame, but she had such a tiny role in Home Improvement that I can understand why she left. She was lucky to have a line or two in an episode. So that's why I can understand why she left Home Improvement to do Baywatch. But then she did Baywatch, and became really the symbol of Baywatch series. Of course, people make fun of it being a human flotation device, which is just an outrageous thing. And of course, he had other cast members added on in the third season. Of course, Billy Warlock also left 2 episodes in the third season, along with Erica Liniak. So they had to add more cast members. They had more hunk for the girls. So of course, you had to have more women on there to attract guys. You had David Charvet to attract the girl, the female audience, the television audience. You also had Alexandra Paul play Lieutenant Stephanie Holden. And she was there for a long time, and then she decided to leave the show after I think like the 7th season. I think it was. Her character was killed off in season 7. Season 7 or season 8. Around there, her character was killed off. And then eventually, as the season went on, more and more people left, more and more people came on, until the point where they had so many cast members that they didn't know what the hell to do with anyone. I do remember that one of the big controversies of Baywatch, not just the obvious, was they did not have. When I mean the obvious, I mean all these hot young women in the red suits. Well, of course, not one of them was black. They didn't have any black men on the show or black women on the show. It wasn't until, like I said, around season 6 or season 7, I think it was, when they finally hired a black woman to be on the show. I think Tracy Brigham. She was like the token black girl on the show. They also hired a couple of 1 or 2 Hispanics. One Hispanic guy, one Hispanic woman eventually. So you have more quote-unquote color on Baywatch. Of course, but unfortunately, by that time the show was getting so bad. Like if it wasn't bad before, it was kind of worse, because you got so many actors on there, in which they have very little of anything for them to do, because you have so many cast members at that point. But then, of course, Pam Anderson, of course, eventually left the show. So when she left the show, that was when, because she was involved with Tommy Lee then, she was married to him, and that's when they eventually they wrote her out. And of course they brought in Yasmin Bleeth, who was supposed to be executive post sister on the show. She had like a little drug problem, whatever. She eventually left, and it's surprising to the show lasted as long as it did, with the majority of the main characters leaving by the end of the second season, or into the or just before the third season. But during the show's run, it did have some very, very good episodes. Most notably, the first season, I can't reference to it already. In the first season, they had an episode called Shark Derby, where one actress, the Sean Weatherly character, playing character Jill, she was attacked by a shark, and she died in the hospital. In the end of the episode, her character dies. So she left the show before the show was even canceled. She left the show. But that was during the first season. But during the second season, the first year of syndication, they had a very good 2-part episode called The Trophy. And I thought it was a damn good episode. I thought it was a very good episode. For Baywatch, it was definitely one of the better episodes. In case you don't know, the episode, for those of you who never saw it, there's an episode where Billy Wallace's character and Eddie gets assigned to a Pacific Tower where they have all these cute high school girls, and his girlfriend on the show, played by Erica Liniak, got jealous because all the girls pay attention to him because he's cute. And Mr. David Hasselhoff character, so of course that's why I assigned him there, because they know that all the girls are going to pay attention to him. But there's no girl in town played by AJ Langer. She wanted to get noticed because she moved to LA with her dad, and she wanted to, of course, make an impression. She wanted to get noticed. And of course, all the other girls there, one of them ironically played by Kelly Packard, who I think was, at that time, I was just about to star in another show called California Dreams. And then eventually, about the 6th or 7th season, she became a regular cast member of Baywatch after California Dreams ended its run on NBC. Anyway, you see all these, you see Kelly Packard in bikini, it's not bad. You see all these other girls saying, "Oh, I'm going to get him by the end of the summer." Me and Eddie. By the end of the summer, we're going to be, by the time school starts, we're going to be going at it, hot and heavy with this guy. He's so cute. Oh, look at him with little red shorts, and all that type of stuff. So AJ Langer notices this and saying, try to make a move on, and which of course she eventually did, and Eddie kicked her out of the tower. Which I'm not going to explain how she got in the tower. I'm not going to explain it in case you want to see the episode. And the episode is on YouTube. And of course, they have brags to all the other girls that they did in the tower. And they stepped in his arms all night long. So one of the other girls got jealous and noticed her father, AJ Langer's father, who was very protective, or was overly protective. And the girl says to him, "Hey, your daughter, is that your daughter?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, last night she did it with that lifeguard over there. She had sex with that lifeguard in his tower." Of course, guess what happens? He gets charged with statutory. Eddie got charged with statutory rape because she was like 16 years old. Was supposed to be 16. And of course, eventually, that's when they ended the first point. Of course, the second part picks up, and of course, pretty much guess what happens at the end of the episode. She doesn't admit, or AJ Langer's character admits that she faked it. She never had sex with the guy, and the charges were eventually dropped. But I thought it was a pretty good cliffhanger ending. Of course, they also had one episode where you had some of the cast members of Gilligan Gonzalez. You had Bob Denver and Dawn Wells from Gilligan Gonzalez making a cameo appearance in another episode during season 2. And of course, then when they switched it to when Pam Anderson and David Charvet and Alexandra Paul came in, and of course, and also the son, they also changed the actor who played David Hasselhoff's son from Brendan Call in the original season to Jeremy Jackson. Eventually, they kicked him out of the show because he was having drug and alcohol problems by the end of the series. Anyway, they had some good episodes during the third season, when you had Nicole Eckert was also added to the show, and she was also doing, I think, Charles and Charles at the same time. When Charles and Charles ended, and she got cast in that show, she was extremely cute. She looked good in a bikini too. Alright, none of these girls look bad. But she was extremely cute and extremely young compared to the rest of the cast. And she only lasted 2 years because she couldn't take the cold water anymore. Because actually the water was very cold the time of the year they shoot the series. So she couldn't take it anymore, so she quit. But her character was very good, and when they went through rookie school, that's when they had, I think she had the best storyline with her trying to get, past rookie school, so she can become a lifeguard and earn a few bucks, and go weekends or something. Because her character was still in high school at the time. Her character was supposed to be in high school. And I thought that was a pretty good episode. Plus, one of the better episodes they had with this particular cast was in season 5, and they had a cast mostly had to deal with David Hasselhoff's character, Mitch, called Submersion. I mean, if you want to see a very dramatic and emotional episode, this one is it. Because they had to deal with two boys that got caught in a riptide, and one of them was there to celebrate his 10th birthday. Never been swimming in the ocean before. They get caught in the riptide, and Mitch had to decide which boy to save first. And of course, what happens to the other boy? Gets submerged in the water and almost dies. And Mitch had to go through all that trauma, psychological trauma, and all that stuff because it's his fault that the other boy is in the condition that he was in the hospital. But of course, you know what happens? He wakes up in the end, so now a big, TV ending. Excuse me. Like I said, the show got so popular from 1984 to 1985 that they decided, or the producers of Baywatch decided to spin it off as a syndicated show, another show called Baywatch Nights, where Mitch, Greg Allen Williams, who played Gordon, the police officer on the show, team up and start a detective agency. But they add the third person to the mix, a beautiful woman, as a third partner in this detective agency, and she was played by Angie Harmon, the drop-dead gorgeous Angie Harmon. I still have a crush on her, even though she's married with 3 kids, but she's still not drop-dead gorgeous. All these years later, she in that series lasted 2 years. But in the first season, you do see Angie Harmon in a bikini a couple of times in one particular episode called Just a Gigolo. And plus, you see some of the physical humor in another episode called Payback, where she gets mixed seasick pills and champagne, and she gets drunk and passes out in Mitch's house. And she was at one point, she's only reading her bra and panties, so you get to see what Jason Seahorn, her husband, fell in love with. And who wouldn't? But like I said, they still lasted 2 years because they ruined the second season by making it more like the X-Files instead of a private detective show. But because they changed the format, the show only lasted 2 years. But then after the original Baywatch show lasted about 9-10 years, they decided to completely change the form and try to renegotiate with California or LA County to keep the show filmed there. And meanwhile, they were running into some kind of problem with the spoons going on, because they wanted to get more of a tax. The producers of Baywatch want to get more of a tax break for filming in that area, and LA County wouldn't give it to them, so they decided to pack up and leave and move the show to Hawaii. Or Hawaii. It's actually pronounced Hawaii. And what they did was they filmed it in Baywatch, making like a school, like a training school in Hawaii. Which one great thing about it is that you see the beautiful scenery in Hawaii, and of course you see other stuff. Well, you didn't really see Pearl Harbor in there. For some reason, they never went to Pearl Harbor, but they went to mostly to the Hilton Hawaiian Village, mostly for the most part. But in terms of the show, of course, I mean, you have more beautiful women there. You had one native Hawaiian there. I forgot what her real name is, but she played Kakoa in Baywatch Hawaii, and of course she played the Mega High, and you did have a couple of cast members from the original Baywatch show on this one. You had like JD was on there. You had I forgot there was one other, like two or three other actors from the original Baywatch show moved on to here. From the original Baywatch, like Brooke Burns. Her character, she played Jessie. She would move on in this show. Only that's like 1 year. Her role lasts only 1 year. And plus, she also had another one from Australia. I think like Simone, I believe her name was. She was also a beautiful redhead woman, the only redhead that ever appeared in Baywatch. I think she appeared in a couple of episodes of the original series, but she was mostly in this one. Plus, you also had occasionally you had David Hasselhoff occasionally appeared during the first season here. And after the first season of Baywatch Hawaii, his character was killed off. Let me tell you what the problem with that was. The problem with that was that a few years, like 2 or 3 years later, they made like a TV reunion movie, and they put David Hasselhoff in there. Not only did they put David Hasselhoff in there, but they put Alexandra Paul's character in there as well, and they killed her character off in the original series, which is like, I mean, come on, doesn't people have? None of these TV writers ever watch a television show or what? Or the original series or watch videos of it? I mean, come on. But in terms of Baywatch Hawaii, I didn't think it was all that bad of a concept of having this training school, especially during the first few episodes of the first year. But then they did the same thing again in the second season. But then after that, that's what Baywatch was officially killed off as a television series. But as a show, I still enjoy the show. I still occasionally, if I was in the mood to watch episodes on YouTube. I think pretty much I think for the most part, most if not all of the episodes from Baywatch and Baywatch Hawaii are on YouTube now. So if you ever get a chance to see any of these episodes, you feel free to look them up. And like I said, it is a good show. Nowadays, people say, "Oh, this show is so stupid. How can the show be on the syndication for so long?" Well, it was. I mean, it was like the 90s, or 20 years ago, when Baywatch really hit its prime. But I still feel that it's still a watchable television show. And anybody who doesn't feel that way doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, because like I said, like one of the series, the more popular characters that left the show. Of course, he has some other notable actresses that came on, particularly Gina Lee Nolan, who before she got cast in Baywatch, she was one of the Price is Right models. So she got on there, and Erica Leniak. Most of you who don't know her, she was in. Well, actually, she was in first Under Siege film. She did. I don't know how many other films that she did. I think she did a movie called Chasers with Tom Berenger in it. But what a lot of people don't know is that when she was about 12 years old, she was in a little movie that most of you people out there might have heard about, called E.T. the Extraterrestrial. In case you don't know what scene I'm talking about, there was a scene where E.T. was, not E.T., Elliot was in the science class with the frogs. Releases the frogs, and at the end of that scene in the classroom, he kisses, or Ellie kisses Erica Liniak. And you can recognize her almost right away. If you happen to be a Baywatch fan and you happen to watch E.T., you can recognize her instantly because it's the same face, and her face that never aged. Between the time that she did E.T. and Baywatch, her face never changed. I think now, 25 years later, of course, she aged in 25 years. But we're talking about between the 7 years between Baywatch, E.T. and Baywatch. Her face never changed. It's exactly the same face. And you can see she was beautiful then as a 12-year-old. But I think you had Erica, and also for a while, a few episodes, you had David Hasselhoff's then wife, Pamela Bach, in a few episodes. You also had her on Rivera in there. I think Greg Allman was in. Even there's one particular episode where you had Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, and Vader did an episode, and Little Richard did an episode. So you had a ton of guest stars, good, bad, and otherwise, on Baywatch. And of course you had that great theme song. But unfortunately the problem is that on the rerun, the episodes that I mentioned this on YouTube, majority of them, they had a different theme song than what the original song was. Well, occasionally you will find an episode that has the original theme song on there. I'm always there. I think it was like I think the guy's last name was Jameson. Was in the singing group Survivor. He's performed the theme song. But there's been a few episodes where you have the original theme song. Some episodes where they changed it. I don't know if it was because intentional, by the person or persons who post these episodes on YouTube, or they uploaded the DVD onto their YouTube accounts, and on the DVD they changed the song. I have no idea why, but the song is a classic theme song as well. I still get excited when I hear that theme song. I also get excited when watching Pam Anderson running on the beach, watching Erica Liniak running on the and Nicole Ecker running on the beach. And some of the other women who cast in Baywatch flying down the beach. And that's one of the other things that people make fun of Baywatch for, is how everybody runs down the beach in slow motion. But even though more people make fun of it than praise the show, I can understand why, because some of the episodes are kind of cheesy, especially some of the plot points and everything else. But there are episodes that are very, very good. There's particularly one particular storyline also during season 5, when Mitch fell in love with a girl named Tracy, who was a fellow lifeguard who was there to work out like a middleman, a middlewoman, to have a deal for Baywatch to have these special water scooters. And Mitch fell in love with her, and he did have a story arc. The problem was that her character was dying of cancer, and the episode Seize the Day is when she tells Mitch that she was dying, and said, there's nothing the doctors can do for me. I'm way past the limit that they felt that was one dying in 6 months, and that was like 3 months ago. So I'm on normal time as it is. And of course, she dies in David Hasselhoff's arms. It's a very sad and dramatic episode. And of course, there's one particular funny episode, which the episode after that, kind of like a spoof of a movie called Sleepless in Seattle, where Hobie arranges for Mitch to go on the pier. And of course, Mitch helps out CJ to win a dance contest, and her dress is so tight. Of course, we all know how busty Pam Anderson is. She, of course, pops out of her breast. Her boobs pop out of her dress. That, of course, you don't see it on the way to you don't really see anything. But she pops out of her dress, and nobody goes. and potentially to cover his eyes and all that stuff. Or Sandra Paul's character covers his eyes, you know, putting a hand over his face so we won't see CJ's boobs. But that was a funny ending. But I mean, like I said, they're all good episodes, and I think it was like more as the series went on, the more bad episodes than good ones. Especially when it gets to like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th season, you see how bad the show was getting. But when they moved to Baywatch Hawaii, I thought they had particularly good in the first season. I thought I had plenty of good episodes to watch. But as soon as they killed David Hasselhoff and the other characters, that was the end of the show for me. And because I kind of lost interest when they kind of moved to Hawaii a little bit, especially when it gets to even before we moved to the show to Hawaii. You can see the quality of the episodes are going down. So let me review of Baywatch television series. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know you went for a long time, up to over 31 minutes already. So please do like the video. Please comment on it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching.